So we've been down here most of the afternoon. We had some field officers and some traffic officers down here. It really was just a very small crowd. Obviously, the mayor and the police chief were down here earlier. They got into the crowd. They heard the crowd. There was some good discussion. They all took a knee together at one point in time. So there's some good pictures of that out there. There was some really good interaction.
Some things are changing now.
Shortly thereafter that, yeah, there's been a second kind of wave of people that have come in and kind of joined up. Part of the group has actually taken off on foot, and they have gotten as far north as 43rd and Main. I believe they are coming back now to the south. So these are some of the things we've seen over the last couple of days. We are working right now to make sure to keep them out of the street. That's one of the big things. Being in the street obviously presents traffic hazards. There's all kinds of challenges with that. You've probably heard over the last 20, 30 minutes, several cars, lights, and sirens. We have called in our response that was basically on standby earlier today. All officers were told to be on standby. We knew about the protest on Saturday. We knew about the protest on Sunday. Today, we kind of just were ready for whatever. We were flexible. We were ready to move. And it was what it was this afternoon, and now it's kind of picking up. We've got some concerns. We've detained several people that were coming in. We have. I'll show you guys some pictures after this. We've stopped people with bags full of rocks, with other things, presumably to be throwing at officers. Bags full of urine, urine-soaked items such as handkerchiefs and other things like that. So we've already come into contact with people. And the sun's still up and it's pretty early. So again, this is one of these things. We're going to be patient with this crowd. We realize we've heard this over the last couple of days so many times. One or two bad apples shouldn't spoil the whole bunch, and we appreciate that so much. One of the things we ask, if there's protesters in the crowd and there are people that are throwing things, that are inciting things, help your friends out, because those people that are inciting things and throwing things are going to ruin the protest for everyone. Because once things start getting thrown at officers, once things start getting incited, and they are unsafe for both the people that are peacefully protesting and the officers involved, that's when we get into this area where we're declaring an illegal gathering, where we are declaring that people need to clear the area. And what you've seen over the last couple of days. It's where we've used CS gas, tear gas, to clear those crowds. We've shored up lines of officers to keep them from going certain places. Last night at one point in time, there was a large group that was in the street in Maine. If they're walking right now, we're trying to keep them on the sidewalk, and we've got officers, with them. There have been, I don't have a good number of officers, but I would say into the hundreds, a couple hundred officers have responded down here over the last hour or so. They're ready to supplement crews that are over here at this scene right now, and then also to be mobile as groups kind of move, and to keep them, to kind of be flexible. There's a lot of streets and a lot of areas that have to be blocked off because people are out driving around right now. We have to protect these folks that are out, using their First Amendment rights, and they are protesting. They are speaking their mind, and we are hearing them, and we have to be ready to protect them. But it requires a lot of officers.
Have you had any success with them staying on the sidewalk? Have you had any problems?
So far, the ones that have moved, we've been okay. There have been a couple that we have had to take into custody. I would say, if I had to guess, I think we're probably at about a half a dozen arrests so far. The one in particular, I'm going to show you guys a picture once we get done here of what they had in their bag. In addition to some illegal narcotics, they had several items, presumably that would have been used to be thrown at officers.
Can you address the after the moment with the mayor and the chief? There was that some would call a poignant moment with them kneeling, and then immediately after they left, you had an arrest, and it's our understanding there was pepper spray that was just...
There was, yeah. There were some items thrown at officers shortly thereafter, yeah. And there was additionally, we've been out here for 3 days. It's no secret. There's camera surveillance down here. There's media cameras and media footage that we've reviewed. One of the detainees was detained partially because of actions that he had taken yesterday and the day before. This is the first day he's been here. So we had identified him. And to prevent him from undertaking those actions again today, we took the opportunity to take him into custody. We did have criminal charges related to assault and other protest-related charges. And we took that opportunity to take him into custody. A few others have been taken into custody, again, for stepping off the sidewalk, into the street, inciting the crowd, other things like that. We have had things thrown at us, again, already. I mentioned we have bags of urine, urine-soaked cloths. We have bottles of water, other rocks. We've already taken things tonight, which is concerning, quite frankly, because last couple nights, things were pretty peaceful before the sun went down, and before that 8 o'clock hour last night. So it's a smaller group. It's unequivocally, it's a much smaller group than last night, but they are just as active for sure.